If you're getting married in the next 3 to 6 months, here's everything that you need to know on how the coronavirus is going to impact your big day. I've just put together a couple tips that I picked up from other planners and other sources online and stuff that I think that you need to do and you need to know to be able to make the best out of this. Hey bridal beauties, welcome back to my channel. So I just had a baby. He's like 2.5 weeks old now, and I had a bunch of content filmed for you girls that I was gonna post so I could kind of spend time with the newborn. But I wanted to sit down and film something for you guys because I'm sure there's a lot of you out there kind of like freaking out right now, especially if you're getting married in the next couple months and trying to figure out what you need to be doing and how this is going to impact your wedding day. So if you have any tips that you've received from your vendors, or you want to share your experience if you've already started the postponement process, or if you've decided to move forward, please share any knowledge that you know below. I think it's important to kind of get a thread going on this, since nobody really knows what's going on and we're all kind of figuring it out at the same time. So please share any information that you do have below to help the other girls out. So today I wanted to talk to you about the impacts of the pandemic on your wedding day, whether you are getting married really soon or you're still just in the planning process. Either way, it's going to impact your wedding. And obviously I'm not an expert on the coronavirus at all. I just have the same information that you do from the news, but I am part of a big wedding planners group on Facebook where they have been discussing all of the impacts and what they're doing during this time to still put weddings on or to postpone weddings and like the contractual agreements and all that stuff. So I have a lot of information from the wedding side, from the actual wedding planners who are out there. And this is something new for all of us as well. So everyone's kind of trying to figure it out. So if you have any tips or you want to share your experience with what you're doing during this time, especially if you're getting married in the next couple months, please share in the comments below if you have come up with a contingency plan so you can help out the other brides as well. If you don't know me, I'm Kyle James, and I usually make lots and lots of really fun wedding planning content. Today it's a little bit different, obviously, but if you are getting married in the upcoming months, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. Most of my videos are a lot more happy and positive, but I think this is something that we definitely need to talk about today. First of all, I am so sorry that you are dealing with this leading up to your big day. I can't imagine how stressful that is. And I'm sure it kind of feels like silly or insensitive maybe to be like worried about your wedding day when there's just so much bigger things going on in our world. The reality is that you did spend a lot of time and a lot of money, and there's a lot of people that need to be filled in on what's going on your big day. So there is stuff to be done here. Obviously, it is in no way a higher priority than your health or your safety or that of others. So just keep that in mind, but you can also use this time in lockdown. I'm sure we all have plenty of time on our hands since we're stuck in our houses to work on fixing your wedding plans if need be. So first of all, let's talk about your options and what you need to be doing right now. It's very important if you are getting married in the next 3 months to make a decision on one of these options. If you are a little bit further out, you might want to wait it out, but I'll talk about that a little bit more after I go through the options. So your first option is to go ahead and move forward as planned. Some implications with this are obviously travel. People are not traveling at all. So if you are just going to move forward with your wedding, you can expect that most people probably won't come, especially those who are at a higher risk with the virus. But if that's okay with you and you still want to like take the chance and still move forward, you can do that. Something to think about here is if you do this and your numbers are very, very low, most vendors do have minimums. So you need to make sure that you check with them if there is a minimum headcount that you're going to have to pay for, even if most of your headcount doesn't actually show up. So if you are moving forward with your wedding as planned, especially if it's in the next like 3 months, you definitely want to get in touch with your vendors and find out on pricing and make sure that they are even willing to do this. they might be closing up shop as well for the next couple months. So you don't want to move forward with your wedding plans and not have any vendors. Also, another thing to check is most states are limiting gatherings to 50 people or less. I think a lot of them say excluding weddings and funerals. But you just want to make sure that you know what's going on in your state and what the restrictions are before you decide to move forward with your wedding. The next option is to completely cancel everything and just wait it out and then rebook everything once the storm has passed. So if you're really concerned and you are willing to give up your down payments just so that you can kind of push it off and wait until all this blows over, that is an option. But like I said, you will probably have to forego your down payments if you do that. The third option, and the one that I recommend doing, is to postpone. I know that you've put so much work and time and money into this and you've been so excited and it's here and now you have to push it out. But I really think that it will be worth it if you push it out. So most vendors will allow you to just use your down payment towards a future date. I am seeing in that wedding planner forum that most planners are just offering a date within the next 12 months. So you can postpone within the next 12 months and your down payment will still apply. And so I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it will go with the rest of the industry as well. Something to keep in mind is that everyone is going to postpone, and most of these vendors have probably already booked through like 2021. So you are going to have to be a little flexible here. It's not anybody's fault. It's nothing we can control. So freaking out about it and being stressed about it and not being flexible is not going to help anyone. I'm sure all vendors are doing the best they can to accommodate because this is impacting them as well. So since we have no idea how long this is going to last or what it's going to look like, I would suggest pushing out at least 6 to 9 months. 9 months to 12 months maybe if you want to be super safe that everything is kind of blown over and people can travel again and everything's hopefully back to normal by that time. But you definitely need to be talking to your vendors, your wedding planner if you have one, and your venue, and just like figuring out what they have available and what they are offering during this time. So you need to start working on this as soon as possible if you're getting married in the next couple months, because everyone else is going to have to postpone as well. So if you want your pick of the dates and you want the most flexibility that your vendor can offer, the sooner you get in contact with them and get working on this, the more options that you'll actually have. I recommend starting with your wedding planner, wedding coordinator if you have one. And then the first thing that you'll need to move out is your venue, because that's obviously the most important. And then just work your way through the different vendors as you get it figured out. You might want to just get a couple dates from your venue and then get a couple dates from your caterer and just see which ones align so that you can start putting it all together and make sure that you're still able to use all your vendors on the future date. Another thing here, you might want to just ask your vendors what they are suggesting and what they're offering for brides who are getting married in the next couple months. This is a new situation for everyone. Like I said, we've never dealt with this before, and so it's kind of crazy. But people are talking and people are coming up with solutions. So they might be able to suggest a plan B for you that will work really well. So be sure that you're asking them what your options are before you go ahead and make a decision and start making changes. So a few other things that you'll need to know on how COVID-19 is going to impact your wedding. I just put together a couple tips that I picked up from other planners and other sources online and stuff that I think that you need to do and you need to know to be able to make the best out of this. As for event insurance, if you've already insured your wedding, I don't think that this is covered as far as I've read, since it's not an act of God. There is a clause in most event insurance that if you are sick, if the bride or the groom is sick, then it will cover the losses if you need to postpone. But that would be like very last minute to do and to make that call if you're actually sick and stuff, so I don't know if that's going to actually apply to you. But I guess if you do decide to move forward with your wedding and one of you happens to get sick and you need to cancel at the last minute, that would help you if you already have your event insurance. So if you are getting married in the next few months, you definitely want to make a decision and get a move on this so you can communicate with your guests. It's really important to let everyone know what's going on so that they can update you on whether they will be coming or not, especially if you are just going to move forward. And then also if you are postponing, you want to communicate that new date as soon as possible so people can update their travel plans. And you want to get an updated head count. I think that there'll probably be a lot of people, especially people over the age of 65, who are just not going to travel for anything, which makes sense, since they are at the highest risk. So your head count might drastically change whether you're getting married in the next couple weeks or in the next couple months. That being said, anytime I've had something go wrong with a wedding, which is pretty much every wedding, something better always happens. So there is always a rainbow after the storm. So just keep your faith up, try to keep your stress low, take a deep breath, and just trust that this is going to be okay and that you can figure out your wedding plans. So just take a deep breath and have a little faith that it's all going to work out. Also, you don't want to be stressed because that lowers your immune system, and that will make things a lot worse if you actually get the virus and you have to be planning your wedding at the same time. So do everything you can to just kind of let go. I mean, none of this is in any of our control, and it's super crazy, but we just got to kind of roll with it and try to make the best of it. Also, I would like to ask you to have a little patience with your vendors as well. This is an extremely turbulent time for their business, and it's probably extremely crazy for them to try to figure out what they need to be doing to make sure that they can still take care of all their customers and stuff like that. So they are probably completely bombarded right now and super stressed out about their well-being. So please have a little patience with everyone. I think if we can give everyone around us a little grace, this will be a much easier process to get through together. The more positive you are and the more flexibility you can offer, I think the better it will all work out for you. If you are not getting married in the next 3 to 6 months, but you are still in the planning process, I think that you can totally move forward with planning. We have plenty of time in lockdown, like I said, to work on this, which is actually kind of nice. But obviously, you will probably not have any in-person vendor meetings. With that said, I always suggest that you meet your vendors face-to-face before you book anything. But depending on how long this lasts, that may not be an option. So the next best thing, I would highly recommend getting on a FaceTime or a Skype call with vendors for your first meetings. So I highly recommend, instead of just doing a regular audio call with your vendors that you're meeting for the first time, to get on a FaceTime call or Skype or Zoom or whatever you want to use. Just get on a video call with them, because I think seeing people face-to-face or like virtually face-to-face, you get a much better feel of if they are going to work well with you. I know we won't be able to have in-person meetings, at least for the next little while, but I think that you can still get the job done over video. But also keep in mind that these vendors are completely slammed right now trying to figure out what they need to be doing to postpone all these other weddings. So they might be pushing out their initial meetings as well. One other thing that might be impacted by all of this is your dress or your bridesmaids' dresses. So if you have already placed your order for these and you're supposed to get them in the next couple months, I would check in with your bridal boutique or wherever you got it to see if there is going to be a postponement on this, because there most likely will be. So that's all the information that I've found so far across the internet and with my experience. But please, please, please share what's going on for you in the comments below, and we can all kind of work together and give each other ideas on how to deal with this in this crazy, crazy time that we're in right now. Please stay safe, my loves. Use this lockdown time to get cozy and cuddle up with your fiance and just spend some great quality time together, and also finish up those plans if you are still in your planning process. Or just work together and have patience and love for each other as you figure out what to do. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Usually I'm talking about much happier, more fun wedding planning topics. Please share this video with any brides in your life who you know are going to be impacted by the coronavirus while they are planning their wedding day, and hopefully this will help them out as well. Also, give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful. Let me know, and we'll see you next time. Happy planning!